right? Bringing value for Gen Z. Gen Z, you know what time it is. It is your time. So it means you refuse to allow anyone put you under pressure because you keep discovering yourself. You keep finding more about yourself. You are in that formative age where you are allowed to be free. Try and explore, Gen Z, to find out what you are good at. Don't let anyone box you. Regarding finding value as a Gen Z, one of the best things you have to do is explore. Explore, because everything you will be from the day you were born to the day you will die is already in you. Education means bringing. Education, the real education is when they bring out what is in you. So at this stage of your life, what I will say to you in this season is explore. Find out things that tips you, that moves you to want to. You get what I'm saying? To want to do something, to want to perform, to want to act, to want to sing, to want to walk, to want to create. That's the stage you are in. Don't be in a pressure. Don't allow anyone pressure you. I know social media is pressuring a lot of you to want to achieve what others are not achieving, but they are putting a facade as if they are achieving it. So make sure what I want for my Gen Z is don't allow anyone to put you under pressure. Good. Get inspiration from younger people doing great things, but at the same time, push yourself. That's one of the main things I hope with this, because you have time, for God's sake. How old are you? You have time. So the world is not ending, for God's sake. So use this time, have fun, know yourself, serve God, find out more about God, worship God, be a friend of God, get involved in God things. Because getting involved in God things, get you on the level of righteousness, being right with God. So that's my talk for Gen Z. Bless you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Apostle. You literally hit it, in specs like that. Gen Z, like you said, you can't box Gen Z. That's the fact. Our generation, the millennials, we are boxed. What we call education in our time actually is academics. There is no difference between what we did and prisoners. Prison have terms. You have punishment for failing and, conditions. You have uniforms as well. Another level of academics is what you call the education. That's self-illumination.
Yep.
Discovering. Now, the next level, we're going to talk about all of these things in process of time. The next level of what will rule the world is revelation, when you say, serve God, fellowship with God to discover. Now, if you go to, now I'm trying to break this down so that you guys can understand it, and I'll drop the baby in a moment. If the next level I said is revelation, revelation comes as a result of your fellowship with God. Now, the generation where we are right now, what is ruling our generation is education. Not even academics has gone. That's industrial era, where you just get certificates would define who you are, level you up, and you're programmed to receive a particular amount of. You can't do that to Gen Z. I don't think any Gen Z want to receive a particular amount of money every month for the rest of his life. Wait for pension. That's really joke. Now, education is what Bill Gates and the rest of them did in this generation. The next generation is revelation. Now, revelation comes, man of God, if you remember from the Garden of Eden, God never cursed man. What God cursed was the earth, the ground, for man's sake, right? So what it means is what will make us who we are is still on the inside of us. But the only thing God did was the earth would not respond to us at ease the way it used to before man messed. Right? And so because we have that in us, so why revelation will rule at the next generation or the generation coming right now we are in fact, one of our foot is already in that generation. Is because when you fellowship with God, one revelation from God can take scientists 20 years of research. What you just got from God in one revelation, 10 minutes of worship, can deal with people trying to do research as a result of the cost of the earth. Now, when God caused the earth, what he took is the ease of life. Things doesn't respond to us the way it is supposed to respond. Our dominion entities, tools, stuff we use, facilities to dominate the earth is still there. When you see some people who are commanding animals and I mean, you see them dominating lions, responding to that. That's domination. That's
Mhm.
because you do it with some tools, like your brain. You train them to
Skill.
respond to you. That's skill, right? And so in the garden, God took away that ease. And so it doesn't mean that man wouldn't get results from the earth, but it will take longer time. He said, from the sweat of your brow, right?
Mhm.
Which means you have got to put in more energy, more time, more resource before the earth responds. So why someone is doing that? Because you fellowshipped with God, the Spirit will give you what he said in Proverbs 25, number 2. He said, the secret things
Hmm.
God conceals those matters, but it's our honor and glory to search them
To search.
out.
So that
How
means-
do you do
So
that?
that means a lot of scientists are already searching things out
Yes,
without
yes.
doing all the praise and
And they
worship.
get the glory. How do they get the glory? The reputation, the fame, and the money. Because they put in time, they put in energy, they put in
Yeah.
resources, and they do research. They get results.
Research.
Come on, man.
Research.
Someone is taking us to the Mars for holidays. The name of Elon
Yes,
Musk, you
Elon
know
Musk
that.
is doing
It
that.
took them research.
Research, and they keep doing. They
And
keep
they're
doing.
doing it.
They keep doing. They
So
keep
God
doing.
never
what-
took dominion away from man. He only made response of the earth to man, the ease of response of the earth to the man, he made it tougher because earth doesn't respond to us easily like it used to until you come to Christ. That's when it's restored. You now get it at ease.
But what somebody might say, what about those that didn't come to Christ, but they are already breaking different ground, frontiers of science, frontier of technology, frontier of various aspects? What would you say
Because
of
the
that?
dominion authority God gave to man was not as a function of being a Christian.
So it's not so.
I
It's not
went
a
to
function of
church.
being a Christian.
No, no.
All right, I'm happy
He's
with-
still a man. God never took it away. God cannot cause what he blessed. Those tools are in us. Tools like our brain.
So what we are saying now is for that Gen Z,
Yes.
there's like a should I say advantage being
Yeah.
in Christ.
Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
in
As
the
a Gen
kingdom.
Z.
But
when
generally
fellowship with
God has given everyone. But
Absolutely.
as someone that is like Jesus had so many apostles,
Yes, sir.
but there were Peter, James, and John that were closer
Yes, sir.
to him, and if you
and
see
got revelations.
more deeper.
Absolutely.
So, but it doesn't mean those others cannot
no,
get
they
revelation.
will. But these guys fellowship with him.
So those in the kingdom are like Peter, James,
Yes,
we're like
sir.
closer.
Yes, sir. And
Awesome.
that's why the Bible fought us in so many things. And one of the greatest things it fought us with is we should spend time in fellowship with the Spirit.
Fellowship,
Right?
Fellowship.
He said, fight a good fight of faith. He didn't say fight the earth, fight the devil, fight
Beautiful.
anything to maintain.
Thank you
I mean,
so
what
much.
God is saying. You get it? And so you're going to be a force. If you can get one revelation from God is enough for you. I mean, you're
Awesome.
going to rule the world.
On the direction that you should go. Gen Z,
Absolutely.
Gen Z,
Absolutely.
Gen Z, this is your time, Gen Z.
So you guys will reign, and our fault, our weaknesses, you guys are going to leverage on them. We are so
Amen.
ignorant. We didn't have information. We didn't have the social media, the internet, and all of these things that inform you. Look at what's going on around the world. You guys are challenging us with the mundane information we have. We thought they were the real things at the age. But we are so glad because you're going to leverage on what we couldn't do, which is what will permit you to have an existence tomorrow. Otherwise, God is going to shut down the earth because everything is
Hallelujah.
perfect.
Thank you. So let's
Right.
definitely. So regarding the information of you heard a couple of individuals in the presidency as early as 3 gathering discussing a couple of economic decisions that is going to impact the whole nation. For my Gen Z, you are not limited. I know the environment you are matters. It will affect your economy. For example, if you're an excellent doctor in Nigeria, the benefit you get in Nigeria is different from if you relocate to UK. But remember, the same skill. Here in Nigeria, you are being paid a doctor monthly, 300,000. Here in UK, the euro or pounds they are paying you is like 10 times. The same person. So if you are stuck in Nigeria, if I may use that word for you, but for me, it's not stuck. It's the place where you are now. Gen Z, keep building yourself. Keep building yourself. The world is shifting in a way that products, services are now global. There are products that have been developed now that your skill will be needed abroad without you physically going there. That's why we have remote work. That's why someone can be in China working for someone in Nigeria. So the first thing for you that you are young, yes, there is a reason for you to feel hopeless and feel as if there is no future. Don't look, it's what you build your mind with. I will never build my mind that there's no future in Nigeria. Why? There are people still making it. And remember, no system is perfect. No system. Nigeria is not perfect. United States is not perfect. Neither is China. Is not perfect. UK is not perfect. Every system have their challenges. So since you found yourself in this land called Nigeria, work on yourself. Work on your community. Keep watching the Empower You show. Keep being part of our community as we keep bringing opportunity. For instance, there are things the federal government opportunities they really bring out. Yes, you might say they will give those that are part of them to earn and all of that. Hey, don't be too pessimistic. Build yourself, make effort. Because look, if you don't make some effort, you will regret. Time is going. We die every day. We are getting older every day. You are getting older every day. It's better you at least you try. Remember the story in the Bible about these leopards that were hungry. Their whole land they were poverty, and this leopard were having a conversation that if they go to the camp, a camp of the enemy where they know that there's issue, there's a war. If they go there, the soldiers might kill them. I think it's in the book of Kings thereabout, right? I don't know that story, but they say whether they go there, it's better they go there. They might be lucky and get some food, or they go there, they kill them. But one thing is certain, if they remain here, they will die. And what happened? They took that step of faith, they moved, and things worked out. So I want you to be in that state. In Nigeria, make an effort. Make an effort. Let it be that at least you tried. That's the story. And trust me, the law of earth, the law of nature, will look for a way of rewarding you. It might not reward you as if you're in US or UK. If you're in Nigeria, it will reward you. That's my belief. But why I'm so sure you are going to be rewarded is because you are a kingdom citizen. Especially if you are seeking the kingdom of God and his righteousness. Everything will be added. God will make way. God will give you wisdom. God will give you direction, instruction. I believe in divine instruction. I believe in divine guidance. I believe in divine advantage. Right? So that's what I will say to that millennial. Whatever the economy stands is, there is still an outway for you.
Oh yeah. That's it. The men that built America, one of the presidents of America came up and said, you should not concentrate on what the country could do for you, but what you can do. John F. Kennedy, thank you, sir. What you can do for your country. And that's very important. Have you ever noticed that Jesus was never worried about the government of his era? He went about keep creating value. You see, if we sit down, Gen Z, and you guys are extremely gifted to be that creative, right? What you need is the focus to try to create value, right? The society is crafted in such a way that government will eventually come back to entrepreneurs, the creative people, because we'll take what we call the soft power. When we get that creative, government will eventually come back to come and work with us. Because we are the ones who are employing people because of our creativity, creating industries, creating all manner of concepts that will employ people and engage them. And that reminds me, in our NGO, what we're doing is we are partnering with my outreach as a ministry, to help young people. That's to create a balance, to strike a balance in their life. Not only understanding the word of God and spiritual discipline, but also being empowered to develop a skill. You see, you can't beat a man who have acquired a skill. He will always have a niche in the society because he is bringing value to the table. Everybody wants someone who is bringing something to the table. Nobody wants to give his resource right now to someone who is just hanging around or begging. I mean, what problem can you solve? You don't concentrate on the government. You look around. Now, some people, if you read the story of Barack Obama, there was a time they did community service growing up as young people. They were giving back to the society at the time. He did not rise to become a senator just because he could speak good English. That brings us to what we were trying to teach at the very beginning. What value are you bringing? Take the government off it. What can you do? What value can you bring to the table? The moment that happens, the first thing you want in your life is your personal happiness. And that comes as a result of you solving problems. God created that vacuum in us that we should be solution providers. right? That's what it means to bring value. And so, what can you do? That's the first question you want to ask yourself. And don't always want to go to the very top. You want to solve the entire problem of a nation. It's not possible at the level where you are. In fact, can I tell you, man of God, the office of the president is the smallest place to solve the problem of a nation. He can influence, but it's the smallest place to solve. You see, I always like to characterize Nigeria like, you have a basket full of rotten egg,
Okay.
and you have an empty basket here. You go every 4 years, we go to this basket of rotten eggs and we get some of them and we put it here and we want to have a good egg. These people leading us are Nigerians, for Christ's sake, crying out loud. I mean, it's not Kenyans that are ruling us or leading us either. All right. So that's it's a mirror of our society. If we don't bring value from where we are not different from those guys who are seated. Because I was talking to someone the other night, I told him most of these guys are so insecure that all they have is money. It has been narrowed down to get money, get whatever you want. That's not that. Money doesn't bring these things people think they do. People act it. It's not, money doesn't give you happiness. Go and ask. Okay, I was watching Will
Money
Smith.
doesn't go. Someone will say, I want it.
Will Smith was speaking the other day. He said he got to the clip, to the pinnacle of this money and life, and discovered that they still have vacuum. This money, this firm could not fill it.
Someone will tell you, they will say, they want
Let me
that
have it
vacuum.
first. And
Let me have it,
money
let me
on
have
the
the
side.
vacuum.
No,
Thank you.
the thing is, let's be driven by value, providing value. Let it be part of what drives your life. All right, solving problems. That's what made Joseph. That's what made Jesus. What it means to be promoted, what it means to have resources. There is no man today. If you talk about Bill Gates, it was value he was bringing to the table and still bringing value today. That's why he's where he is. It's not magic. He wasn't chasing money, really. He saw a problem that my vision is to take books off every office in the whole world, right? And he talked about stuff to do. And so what you want to do is, what can you do for Nigeria? That's the question for a Gen Z person. It's not just about money. And the moment you begin to do that, the most natural thing that happens is money will start gravitating towards you.
Got in that?
And that's the solution.
All right. That was our take.